Hopefulness 3.0. Welcome to downtown Los Angeles in my new apartment. I'm not going to open this up. My bed does not currently have a fitted sheet because the one that I had was for a twin, and this is, I believe, a double, maybe a full. I don't remember. Here's your little kitchen because everything, it's just a studio, of course. You got a little hat. And then, various storage, pantry and or dresser related type stuffs. Clothes, my Pokemon shirts, medicines, because I got to keep them out open. I'm doing the J. Kenji Lopez alt thing, where you have like a little trash bag on your countertop, throw it away, and then when it's finished, pull it out, and then throw it away. It's my rusty cast iron that I pulled back out of the storage yesterday. This thing, okay, there's a new safety feature on newer microwaves where it locks and you have to press the unlock button. I don't know if you can see it here. Pull back, pull back, pull back. You're not focusing. Whatever. Bathroom. Nice little detached shower head. A seat for my back because of the injury. Oh, and hello. I have long hair now. I look older, and I weigh more. I'm going to go try to set you up somewhere so we can have a little chat. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we'll see. I'm doing my old thing, setting my phone up on a countertop. I've got a tripod, but that's still in the storage unit. So the last video I uploaded was about my nervous breakdown post-eclipse. Because, didn't get to see it. That sucked. Got a Tangle teaser here that I've had for a while. It only works so well with this hair currently. But it doesn't get caught, and that's the great part about it. But so where have I been the last 2 years? Well, I've been mostly homeless. I lost housing June 2024. I was on the streets for 3 weeks. And during that time, there were these people coming around asking us, and it was like midnight, I think, at this point. And they were asking for our info because they wanted to try to get us housing. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Or shelter or something like that. And a couple weeks later, I end up with a shelter. And so I had been in that shelter from the 24th of June, 2024, until 3 days ago, Thursday. So, Thursday. Moved in here on Thursday. I already had a pretty decent amount of stuff with me at the shelter. They had us in little cubicle pod things where bed over here, you're kind of like a foot locker here, at first I was hopeful that I wasn't going to last that long at the shelter, that I would be able to move out, get a job, whatever, because through the process, especially in the earlier stages, I had a caseworker, but then I had another caseworker that was related to housing. And she was all like, hey, if you get a job, then we'll be able to put you up in Skid Row, or, somewhere else, whatever. And, we'll get you in. You basically won't have to pay anything. And, it's just we'll make sure you're okay. And I'm just like, all right, cool. I mean, I'm willing to live in downtown. I'm willing to live in Skid Row. Because, I've lived on the fucking streets, so it's not that big of a deal for me. And, so that's kind of what I'm doing. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can get something on my feet. You're back. Okay, maybe not. Took a shower last night, and I was like cleaning off the various. I've got some flip flops and some Crocs because they got nice and dirty because of the time that I spent at the shelter. But they're not dry because I kind of fucked up, and I didn't like lean them up and let so whatever. Hopefully they don't get any mildew or anything. I feel like I'm sick with something. I don't know what it is. Maybe coming off of it. I'm not sure. In fact, let me just go ahead and take some. I'm going to need these anyway because I got to go back to the storage unit. But yeah, so when I left my housing in June of 2024, I got a storage unit, packed everything into a tiny little rental car. Got over there, but then I couldn't do it because I didn't have a lock. And I couldn't get all of my stuff out before the end of the day because the lady who was there while she was super nice and everything, in a way that was also part of her problem because she was on the phone with this belligerent customer for like half a fucking hour, getting nowhere. And so I ended up telling her, like, after the fact, I was like, I'm still trying to be nice and everything, to my detriment. But fortunately, the landlady that I was at, she was really nice. And, she didn't charge me for the extra day. She just wanted me to be out by noon the next day. I was like, not a problem. So I had to, like, pull all my shit back in. Because I was donating stuff and all this. And I was going around town, trying to take care of, various things. Getting, like a mailbox and all this kind of shit, right? And so I get most of it done except for the storage unit. Spent like $40, but I couldn't get out all of my stuff into the storage unit that day, so I had to take it all back, put it back in the housing, and then go return the car to then try to do the rest of it the next day, pull it off. But then I told the young lady at the desk, I was like, hey, if you're ever in a situation like that again, one of the best things you can do is to ask them specifically, what can I do to help? Because if you constantly are telling them, well, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, you're not going to get anywhere in a customer service avenue. It's just not going to work. It's not going to happen. The person, and especially if they're belligerent, they're only going to get worse. So by asking them what you can do, like, you may still not be able to accomplish that, or also, actually, no, that's not even what I told her. I was wrong. What I told her was, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what will be done. Even if they're not going to like it, the best thing you can do in a situation like that is you want to diffuse it, but you also want to end it. And by telling them, here's what will be done. Now, again, they may not like it, but at that point, then you move on. It's like conversation over, and it's hard, but the more you're able to do it, the more successful you will be at doing it. And if you have to hang up on them and sound rude, whatever, you do it, because it is what it is. They're not going to be happy anyway. They're not going to have any level of satisfaction. They're not getting what they want out of it. So you have to understand that, tell them what you're going to do, and then move on. So that's what kind of screwed me over. And then, fortunately, one of the people that I know from the EverQuest Discord, they gave me enough money to get a hotel for a day and a little bit extra. It wasn't too much, but, it was enough. And then I was on the streets. Got into the storage, or got the storage unit, obviously. Got into the shelter. I had a job application, like literally, I think 2 days after I got into the shelter, maybe the next day, I don't remember. So I rent one of those cars again. I was getting unemployment at the time. I don't get the job. It was like in Redondo Beach as some kind of like graphics art. This is one of the things that I still have a problem with. Stop labeling your fucking jobs as customer service if the tasks are different. And that also goes into the job that I ended up getting with. I was like, okay, so in the process of being there, I was like, well, I could get this, I can't even remember what the fuck it's called anymore, this training for, working in addiction. Because I was like, all right, I can at least try to do that. And I'm still trying to hopefully work in addiction, just in a different capacity. But I got this, like, it's an ethics course. I still can't remember what the fuck it's called. But, and if I can remember, I'll put it in a top comment. But and it's like a 9-hour video session, and it was done during COVID. So it's over Zoom with all the bullshit that Zoom was doing, and everybody didn't know what the fuck they were doing in a Zoom call. It felt like it was just ad hoc. The audio quality is terrible. The presenter is just boring as fuck. But after like 2 weeks of slowly trudging along, I finally get it taken care of. It cost like $50 to do. I was supposed to get reimbursed for that. I never got reimbursed for that because with the Department of Rehabilitation out here, you basically have to know exactly what you want and then be on their asses about it every single fucking moment of the day. And that never worked out because I'm not that person. I'm not a guy who gets on people's asses all the time about stuff. Even if it's for my own advocacy, because I get tired, I get forgetful, I get distracted from all the stupidest shit. I should be doing something, but I don't really have anything to do because I don't have anything in here. Like, I made some eggnog with, a bit of booze. A bit of booze. I'll show you that, but it's all in the back and I don't want to get it. Plus, I made more than I thought I was going to make. There's a lot of booze in that shit. Like, the 6 eggs that I used, like, I needed to break it down. See, I cut it in half. I should have cut it down into a quarter. Because the original recipe calls for 12 eggs. I should have done the 3-egg version. But anyway, and I didn't have, like, my measuring cups or anything with me. So it's like, the whole thing got fucked up. So now, I have some measuring cups. Because I went to the storage unit yesterday. Which is kind of what this is all about. Because I got to go tomorrow. One of my favorite spatulas. I want to get the other version that you see a lot of like pro chefs using. This still does a really good job though. This silicone spatula is phenomenal. It's the upgraded version of this one. This one's better, but I still like this one too. So yeah, maybe I'll sit down. My feet hurt. I'll brush my hair, and so yeah, I was trying to get a job. That didn't work out because it was the wrong kind of fucking job anyway. They wanted to be more graphics designer type stuff than customer service, which is very common. And then I get the training, get that completed. I learned that, okay, I can still actually like use my computer and my internet and everything, and I don't need to cut myself off from the internet. Along the way, maybe that was a bad thing. I don't know, because then I started playing EverQuest shit ton again. But I'm not playing it anymore because everything has changed last year. Before that, I got another job. I got a job at a detox, and I thought I was going to be doing like technician stuff. But it was like technician plus housekeeping. Like, these are adults. They should have known how to take care of themselves. They should have known how to sweep up and clean up their messes at a fucking house that is shared by, a total of 10 people or 12. Most of these adults were younger adults under the age of 25, which didn't fucking help. But we could have been helping them by getting them more and like, the detox was only a week. Then we moved them into what is called residential treatment center mode, where it's like, okay, now you just live here and you're going through the various treatment processes. One of those things should have been cleaning up after yourself, because they didn't have anything to fucking do while they were there. So all they did was just fucking lay around watching TV all goddamn day, eating a bunch of snacks and, be coddled by my boss. Whereas they could have been the ones cleaning up after themselves. We did not need to be cleaning the place. It was not necessary. And it's like, that's not what I fucking signed up for. And all the other detox related stuff was already stressful as it is. And then add on fucking all the cleaning and shit. So I ended up getting fired after 3 months. I made a reasonable amount of money. I bought a new laptop because the old laptop was acting like an asshole. Like there was times where like I would open it and it felt like I was about to break the fucking thing because of whatever was going on with its plastic case. So now it's going to be kind of like my side bitch, if you will, my side chick. So I'm going to be like focusing on the good computer, and I had enough money that I bought a good laptop. It cost me like $1,500. I spent about 2 weeks prepping to make this thing happen. Making sure that not only did I have enough money to buy it, but then I also had enough money after the fact. I didn't want to like buy it and then only have like $200 left. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of money left over. And it's good that I did that because I was thinking I was probably going to get fired. And then I did get fired. So, and then within I want to say the week that I got it, because I got it like close to Christmas, and then I got fired on January 17th the following year, which, only like 3 weeks later. Like literally the week that I got it, I went to work and I downloaded all my games, and it was like a terabyte of data. The next day I go, because I was like, oh, I forgot to download some stuff from here. I couldn't do it because I guess I had an IP blacklist or some shit. I don't care. I got my terabyte. It's not like they were using it for anything anyway. And I did it during a time of day where it doesn't matter. But I don't care. So I got that taken care of. Got fired. Had enough money, so I saved up. And then because of that, also, in addition, I was also planning for the eclipse that's happening later this year in August. And so I was like, all right, I got to save as much money as I can. I just had money sitting for a while, but then I was trying to get unemployment. And I wasn't able to get it because of my previous year's unemployment. And I'm still under that window. Like, you have a year for unemployment, and even if you're no longer getting paid for it, you can't file another unemployment claim until that is over. And so that wasn't until March. And then I kept trying, and then like I would call. Here's what would happen. Every time I would call, I'd wait anywhere between half an hour to an hour on hold. And then when it was done, and this is what I didn't understand, I'd be on hold, and then it would cut me off. Or I'd go through like so like I'd be on hold for an hour, and then it would just cancel the call. Or I'd go through the whole process, and like the automated process for EDD is like 6 minutes long. Just to be on hold. Just to get to the point of being on hold is 6 minutes long. It is the worst fucking experience. And I couldn't do it all online because the way the online thing works, it just doesn't let you fucking do anything. It'll be all like, oh, you still have this thing or whatever. And it's like, no, my case is fucking done. Stop with the shit. So I had to make the phone call in order to get through to actually like start the reapplication process because I couldn't do it online. So at least I got a decent chunk of money that's saved up. I'm still paying for my phone. I'm still paying for my storage unit, which they kept fucking trying to raise the goddamn rent on it. They still managed to do it anyway, which is why I'm getting the fuck out of there this week. Because I have to, because otherwise I'll have to pay the extra $120. It started at like $60. Then they wanted to double it after like 3 months. I was like, what the fuck is this? Or they increased it to $90 after 3 months, and then they wanted to increase it again to $120 after like another 3 months. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I got like maybe a couple of months where it didn't go to 120, and now it is 120. And so they've been eating away at my goddamn money this whole time. And it's for not a big unit. It's only like a 5x10. That's faster rent increase than even shitty landlords. You know? But sure, it's not as much money, but percentage-wise, it's definitely significantly more. And I think it's because they got a new owner or some bullshit. So that's always the fucking case. New owners got to make as much money as they can. And so, I've been paying $120 for nearly a year now. So I'm ready to get the fuck out of there. And then on top of it, earlier last year, just about the time that I got my unemployment, which fortunately, it was a good thing that I ended up having it take so long, because literally when I was on the phone with the lady, she was like, well, we can start your claim in March, and then it'll give you this amount, which I think was like $3,000. But if we start your claim now, which is in May, it'll give you $8,000. And I'm like, that's not a question. She's like, you're right. I don't even know why I brought it up. I was like, yeah, let's do that. And so when I start getting the money, when it starts coming in, I start saving it and depositing it back into my index funds and my mutual funds. And I'm like, okay, when September rolls around, because I know that now at this point, this money's going to get cut off in November. When September rolls around, I'm paying for my plane ticket and I'm paying for my hotel for Iceland. I'm fucking going. And while there have been some hiccups in relation, I didn't get a hotel, I had to get a hostel, because by the time I could book a flight, which is not like, I don't book a hotel unless I can book the flight. Because if I book a hotel and then the flight is like $5,000 fucking dollars, well, no, I'm not doing that. So I had to wait until I could actually book the flight, and none of the websites will let me book a flight until basically like September 14th or some shit. And so I was like, okay, I'll start looking at the prices on September 14th, but then the next week is when I'll actually buy, because I want to make sure that I can get all this done like same day, and I want to make sure that I get all. I still didn't fucking do it right. I was like, I have done this so many times. I booked the flight for a specific set of days. Then I booked the hotel for a specific set of days, but I didn't match them properly. And I didn't realize that I didn't match it properly for like, I want to say a month. So then I have to go back and I have to readjust I think it was the hotel booking, because obviously the flight booking is the thing that mattered. I think what I ended up accidentally doing was booking the first day of the hotel the same day as the flight. And doesn't work like that when it takes 18 hours to get there or whatever it is. Because it's going to be like a 6-hour flight to Toronto, and then another like 6-ish hour flight to Iceland, but there's like an 8-hour layover. So, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the buy now version. I don't want to have the money on hand. Also, I'm trying to like play the game of like, don't have money because of X, Y, and Z, related things, because now I'm getting GR again. So I'm going to be saving as much money as that possible, which is also why I want to get out of the fucking storage unit, because I want to have some money to be able to spend while I'm there. I know I'm not going to have a lot, but yeah, so I got Iceland booked, and I'm dumping money into the index funds, because I've got 3 now. I got the original mutual fund, the FBLAX, and then I've got the sort of like national fund. I can't remember which one. I think it's like FSCAX. I look it up, but it would be on you if I did that. And then there's the international one. The international one's doing well right now. I'm up a little bit, which is good. And I'll be putting more money into it, which is also good. And this is only going to cost me $44 a month, which is also good. And I got to talk to, because we have case managers here, and I don't have one assigned to me yet that I'm aware of. So I got to check that out on Monday because they're only there from 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. to I think 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or maybe it's 8 to 4. I can't remember. Monday through Friday. And so during that whole time, I had a storage unit. I wasn't able to get a job. I've dealt with a lot of like self-doubt this whole time, like wondering what the fuck I can do. What even is the point in me, existing, dealing with major issues of depression as well. I mean, in the last couple of weeks, especially because I had a medication change, I was using this one thing called Trintalex. I'm out of it now. And I was only taking just the Trintalex. And it was not helping whatsoever. Like, on its own, it was not helping. Whereas and what I have been taking for quite a while now is mirtazapine. This stuff, at least, like, I've realized, especially when I switched to the Trintalex, like, it definitely has an impact on my mental health. And so, when I talked to my therapist or my psychiatrist about it, she's like, okay, good. We'll put you back on the mirtazapine, but what we'll also do is we're going to buddy it up with the Trintalex and see what happens. I was like, all right, cool. But because I was on the Trintalex for so long, I was able to tell that it was not doing well. Like the first couple of days seemed okay, and then like it kept downward spiraling. Oops. And so, and because I had gotten matched, like earlier last year, around the time that I got the unemployment thing taken care of, I got matched for a place in Long Beach, and it was right across the street from the train station. So like you could walk outside, hop the little curb, hop the train tracks, and then get up on the platform. And that's the train station right there, right outside the door. And it was basically a little hotel room. And I was like, okay, I'm down with that. But then it didn't pan out because it's in Long Beach. And they were always prioritizing people who were in Long Beach, who were dealing with homelessness in Long Beach. Which, I mean, I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, it sucked, getting pushed back over and over. And so that one basically falls through. And then this place is going to be opening up in the following September of last year. Oh, wait. What I'm looking for is not in the fridge right now. I got turned on to the sugar-free store brand flavored drink mixes. Actually, I'm not going to use one of those. Instead, I'm going to use the caffeinated version. And so I find out about this place and I'm like, oh, okay, this might be too good to be fucking true. But they need me to go see a doctor about my back because that could help push me forward. Because if you don't recall from my previous videos, I injured myself at one of my other jobs, at the first addiction treatment job that I had. And I had never known really to the extent of what my injury was. So I finally get a PCP, primary care physician. We're talking and everything. Literally the first day I talked to her, I was just like, look, I don't know the extent of what this injury is. I don't know if what I'm going to be asking you is even ethical. Because I'm that guy. I'm willing to shut myself down before I get what I should be getting or whatever, or what, I might deserve. Because I still don't think I deserve this place. But I still feel guilty about it. It's like, what did I do to do it other than just the paperwork? But, so, I'm like, they're kind of giving me problems about this, because I had a chair and a table in my little spot. This little folding thing. It had a small footprint, like maybe a foot from up against the wall, and I was still getting crap for it, but she wrote up a little document that, a little doctor's note, and so I gave it to my case manager. He's like, okay. And I hadn't had any problems since then. But then in the process, now that I have this PCP, she's relatively close. Also, there's this program called Motive Care that you can get on your phone, this app that allows you to basically get free Uber and Lyft rides to your doctor's appointments. So getting there is easier. I'm gonna turn on the AC. It's starting to get toasty here. I'll show you what it looks like. Yep. It's on, because otherwise it would be off. Oh no, it's on. Now it's on. There we go. Phone's getting a little toasty too. But anyway, so I start seeing the PCP more frequently, and then she's like, okay, well, like, just as she gets on the phone with me about something, I don't remember what it was. I think maybe it was like the blood results or something like that, because, you know, she took some blood like the first time I was there. And I was asking about like the hip or whatever, and I was like, you know, because whenever I do like a marching motion like this, after like a few minutes, after like a few strides, I start feeling this sort of popping sensation, this almost catching sensation. So she gets me to get an MRI. First, we got an MRI for my shoulder. That was a nightmare, because the first one, they wanted to put me in a normal one and head first, and I was like, we gotta get out. Can't do that. So to do the open one, that's like a sandwich, and it's closer, and it was still terrifying, but at least I was able to like look out the side and just kind of breathe. And it did not help that during each of my, like, it started happening like every single one of them, because, you know, you're not supposed to have any metal or anything. You're like checking, have you been in a welder or anything, that kind of shit. This motherfucker right here starts thinking of that scene from X2, the second X-Men movie, where Magneto yoinks all of the fucking metal out of the security guard that had been injected into him by Mystique. And I'm just like, why am I thinking about this shit now in the middle of a goddamn MRI? It was terrible. I was like, yeah, let's ruin your life. Let me get some chicken. This place came with like a lot of plates and stuff. Now a lot, like the plates, the flatware, like even the flatware I don't really give a shit about. I have my own. But like the plates were helpful. I think I'll get two, just because I'm hungry. Even though I'm going to be running out of, I don't have any food stamps really. I only have like $10. Let's put some salt on these bad boys. But, so yeah, you know, I'm going through the process to get my MRI. I find out I have arthritis in my hip. It's like mild arthritis, but it'll probably get worse. Because, you know, it's not something that heals, because it's a cartilage issue. I don't know if it was related to the fall, or if the fall, yeah, who knows. It is what it is. Also, she gets me, hold on a second here. I don't like that microwave. It's too smart. Like, changing the power level is dumb. You have to hit the power level button after you started, and then you have to hit the power level percentage that you want, 1 through 9, and then hit start again. There's too many damn buttons. Like, at least the one I used to use, I could just hit the power level button first, hit start, it'd have that 30-second boost, and then I could just, you know, hit 30 seconds or whatever. That's just, it felt more intuitive that way. Plus, this fucker locks, and it won't unlock unless you hit the unlock button, which is also dumb. Because, like, the unlock button for me was the door open button. That's how I would unlock the fucking door. So, you know, when I was in the middle of popping my popcorn the first night, because I had some popcorn left over from the shelter, I was like, I don't want to burn this shit, so I want to pop it open. Wouldn't let me do it. It's dumb. Anyway, so I'm going back to the doctor. I get an MRI with contrast, so they inject gadolinium into me, which is like basically inert metal, but it becomes a little magnetic when magnets are applied to it, but then it loses that magnetism. That's what's called paramagnetic. That's a very brief explanation that I'm not exactly certain of because I have to go back and look it up. But anyway, so got that done. Find out that my prostate is also slightly enlarged, that I have mild arthritis in my hip, that I have what's known as adhesive capsulitis, which is frozen shoulder. So I'm getting physical therapy for both, which is nice. Would never have done any of this on my own without the incentive to be here. And so this whole time I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this, whatever. And once I find out that because he tells me about this place because I'm matched, which I don't really know what that means at the time. It means I qualify based on whatever info that I don't have on hand. And then I gotta get all this paperwork taken care of and stuff. But the problem is I'm not making income. Well, technically I am, but also technically I'm not. Because I was still getting unemployment, but they don't count unemployment as income. So it doesn't qualify you to get in. So you have to go through the non-income format. It's a whole thing. Meanwhile, I'm saving up as much fucking money as I possibly can, locking it away in my index funds, and then I buy my plane ticket, I buy my hotel, I pay for my hotel, but then I don't pay for my hotel. It doesn't happen until the fucking end of January for some reason, even though it was supposed to be a do now thing. Now, what I could have done, but because I'm an anxious little shit, I could have just got on a phone or even the live chat and told them, hey, I just want to pay for this right now, please. I didn't do that because I was just going to give them a little bit of time. And, I could have saved myself some stress. Because I have weird issues with gatekeepers. Like, I didn't even go to school this semester, because I probably wouldn't have been able to handle continuing to go to school while in fucking the shelter, because it was still hard to focus. But even so, like, what if I had moved also? That would have been weird. That would have made it much more difficult to try to do everything. And I had a scholarship for, I think I do. I don't know though, is the problem. But I went through an application process with Cal Mesa for the peer support specialist program that they have. But then they told me that my application was canceled or denied or whatever because of inactivity. I don't fucking know. I might have to contact somebody about that. I'm not sure. But anywho, part of it is nice and hot. And it's definitely nice and salty. And licking straight salt is just, it's not something I've been doing very frequently in the last few years. This is getting longer winded than I thought it would be. I don't know why I ever think I will be more focused in these videos than I actually am. I should never, I shouldn't put that on myself because I should know better. And yeah, still using the sandpaper grinder. Just fuck it. I still even got the peppercorns from beforens. Because, they last a while. I guess I could move you over here this way, since there's no door. But yeah, it's like, so going through that process, still the storage unit, occasionally go back and forth because I got to do things like get soap. Like, this no longer has shampoo in it. It has Ajax in it because this is an easier way of dispensing it. And I don't need to buy a pump bottle when I already have a pump bottle? You know, call me weird. You know, because it's funny. I thought about this because of Josh Johnson, who I also started watching within the last year. He was talking about you got to have more than one kind of soap, and I'm like, you know, you're right. You got to have at least two. I have my shampoo, which comes out of one of those bottles, that I use for everything because I am a hairy person. I don't give a shit about body washes and all that. Also, body washes are super low concentrated and they waste. Like, they're just so easy to like finish off, and they're like $8 or some shit. That bottle's like $5 and it lasts like more than a month. Because I don't really use that much. You know, I use some for my hair, I use some for my beard, and then I use the rest for the rest. You know, I probably do like 12 pumps total in a shower. You know, 1, maybe 2 for the hair. It's getting closer to 2 nowadays because this, I've never had, like today is the longest my hair has ever been. Tomorrow will be the longest it's ever been, and so on and so forth. Because I just didn't want to fucking shave anything, and I wanted to have long hair for a change. It's because of Thor pirate software on the YouTubes and the Twitches and shit. He said it took him 4 years to grow his hair out, and I was like, fuck it, let's try it. It'd still be better if I salted it when I cooked it, but I didn't have any salt with me because I forgot to get it the first night that I did my storage diving. But Josh Johnson talked about the soap, so I was like, that's cool. So whenever I got out of the place, that would be a thing that I would do, and that it is a thing that I've done. So after months and months and months and months, like every 2 weeks, my case manager would come and he'd give me paperwork to sign, basically saying I don't make any money. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have any income. And it just kept getting worse and worse, mentally speaking. And I was like, this needs to fucking happen soon. And it kind of felt like it was. It felt like the writing was on the wall, but at the same time, like through my desperation and the fact that I didn't have the right medication, I just kept spiraling more and more. And then it wasn't, you know, and I talked to my psychiatrist on Tuesday. On Wednesday morning, I find out that I'm going to get this place. So my psychiatrist doesn't know, and she's not going to know for a bit. So when she sees a new background, the next time I'm on Zoom with her, she's going to be fucking losing her shit, which is great. I'm looking forward to her response because she's awesome. And you know, she's like my primary care physician. Like, even though I've moved further away, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep going back to that same place because, like, my PCP is awesome. She's just phenomenal. And so, you know, fortunately, because of this place being the carrot and the stick, and at the same time, like, feeling like it's just gonna be the stick, you know, there's just all these tumultuous emotions that I'm dealing with, and then, you know, the variations on the medications and stuff, and like I still can't breathe a sigh of relief just yet because I am me, because I know that once I'm out of the storage unit, I'm sure there'll be something else I got to think about. But I guess I could just say, well, you should tell all of my addiction clients, one day at a time, because that is really, I mean, yes, that feels like it's kind of duh, it's kind of obvious, you know, we all live one day at a time, but like, that's generally the way you should focus on things in life. It's being in the moment. It's being present. It is experiencing the world as it is right now. You cannot predict the future. There may be some things that you can, reasonably predict, etc. But you don't know how today is going to be. You need to act on today. You need to appreciate today. That is the general, that's all of the things that are being piled into that one sentence of one day at a time, which I think will be the name of this video. Obviously, I don't know what tomorrow brings. I hope that, because the Blink LA Mobile, the little rental car that I got when I moved all my stuff out of the storage unit, it's relatively cheap. And it's funny because literally within the last couple of days, I was looking at it, just making sure, the locations are still there. Like, I even was looking at it the day that I was told, Wednesday, the day that I was told that I will have this place the next day in the morning. And I think I even looked at it the day of, just to be sure, let's make sure where the location, the parking locations are. But yesterday, I'm looking at my phone and it's requiring me to register as a driver. And I'm like, what? So I'm going through that process, and it wants me to either upload a PDF or take a photo. So I try to take a photo of my food stamp card, because that is the thing that I used last time, which is an acceptable document. It won't accept it. It takes like 30 seconds to load, and then it says this file is not available on the server, whatever the fuck that means. And so I'm just like, ugh. Why you gotta do this to me now? I was hyping you up. I was looking forward to using you. Like, that's the problem with that program. It's just that app. Like, conceptually, it's so good. But they've been removing cars. The app is an asshole. Like, it doesn't know where you are. Like, when I would use it frequently, it always thought I was down the street instead of right there where my shit was. And it was using Google Maps. If I went to the Google Maps app on the same phone, Google Maps was like, here you are. And I switched back, be like, you're over there. And I'm just like, how do you do this? So, but I mean, ideally, this could be the last time I need it. If it doesn't go through in time, then I'm just gonna try to get a U-Haul truck, and not the big one, but like a pickup, which is still too big, because they're basically pavement princesses. But anyhow, I'm gonna finish my chicken. I'm gonna chill for a bit. I'm gonna get ready to go back to the storage unit. I gotta deconstruct the final shelving units, because I took apart one of the big ones and then like half of the other big one. I gotta finish that other half. Then I gotta do the small one, which isn't hard, but because I'm probably gonna take the small one in today, as well as taking more kitchen related stuff, because that's most of what I have in there is kitchen stuff. That and clothes. Although I have most of my clothes. But I've got like jackets and winter wear and stuff like that, which I might need for Iceland. So, yeah, I mean, Iceland's going to be a 6-day weekend, or a 6-day trip. I'm going to land on like that Monday. I believe it's the Wednesday that the eclipse happens. And then I'm going to be there for a couple more days. And, I did something similar when I went to the last eclipse. I could bring my computer and all that kind of stuff. I don't have to worry too much. The main thing is like, I got to figure out, like, I have my passport, like, it's literally right here. Oh, yeah. And it's the new one, too, with, like, the plastic card inside, which, that was weird when I first got that. Vaccinations is going to be kind of like the only thing that I'm thinking about. So I'll have to talk to my PCP about that, because the next time I required to talk to her is in April. But that's in less than a month, or that's a month and change, so we'll see. I'm nervous, kind of excited, but I'm also like focused-ish, because I gotta still take care of this whole thing. And I also gotta fucking breathe. because I also want to start streaming again. I do have, and if there is a person who is watching this, it's very unlikely that they've watched this far, but if you are watching this far, I do have a Twitch channel, and I will be incorporating it into a YouTube channel, which I think I already have set up, although I could be wrong, called, I want to say it's Justin Bandy Gaming. It could be Justin Bandy Games. I might have to put that in the top comment too. I don't know. Either way, I'm done. Have fun.